Systems, routines, habits, which do you need? Why should you have them? And how do they all work together? Well, today we are talking about how habits create routines and routines create systems. Now, these all go together when you talk about productivity, becoming your best self, and really finding balance in your day-to-day life to be able to not only plan your days for success, but be intentional with exactly what you want to achieve in life. So welcome back to Balance While Blooming. My name is Bridget. I'm 26 years old. I'm a wife, a stepmom, multi-passionate, have a full 9-to-5, and that I love this community that I've built that is sharing how to believe in themselves, become the best person of their dreams, build the life that they want, and really find time to balance out their days to bloom consistently. Now, becoming your best self takes work, takes action, takes mindset, but today we are breaking down how to really plan your days with habits, routines, and systems. What are they? How can they work to benefit you, and what you can do to be more intentional with not only the habits you set, the way you use your routines, and look at the bigger systems that you need to set to become next level. If you're new, please subscribe. We talk about our mindset, our productivity, how to show up as your best self, and how to become this person that is next level. And part of that is being intentional with your days and balancing your day-to-day life. And we are really talking about that balance lately and finding that core of knowing where you are currently and how you can show up for this next level, for this person that you want to be. Not only that, I share so many ways that you can balance your areas of life. You can build your dreams, goal setting, looking at multi areas of life. We are going to do an update of our areas of life real soon. But I really think that when you are talking about systems, routines, and habits, you can choose today to start this journey with us. So as always, subscribe, like, let me know what other videos you guys want to see about personal development, your growth journey, and becoming this person of your dreams. And let's jump right in. So when it comes to your habits, routines, and systems, we need to break down what they actually mean. And when I say that, these are the definition terms broken down into simple terms. A system are plans designed for a specific goal or outcome. So this is your bigger picture. This is where you are trying to go. What is that end goal of that next level? Routines are sequences of actions performed regularly. These are things that you set up and have intentional 1, 2, 3, 4 in sequence of actions to stay on track and show up for that time or that routine. Then habits are the specific behaviors that become repetitive or a part of that routine, right? That become automatic. Your habits should be something that you just automatically do over time when you do it consistently. You are repeating it as much as possible, and that's when it becomes a habit. Now, I will be honest, we've heard the 21-day rule, we've heard the 60-day rule, we've heard the 90-day rule. You never know when things are going to actually become automatic, but it is important that you understand that consistency is what is going to create not only habits that are automatic, routines that stick, and an overall system for success. So when you're looking at this, this is not something that is going to happen overnight. It doesn't matter if you're just starting your habit, you have routines and you need to show up more consistently, or the system is just starting or in the process, you may still need more action, more step. And that's what we're talking about, these little step by step of how to build this life of success. And of course, it starts with the habits, then creating the routines, and then creating the systems, because it all starts one day at a time. And I challenge you to start right now, today. Jumping right into habits are the smallest actions. These are the single actions that you take and the behaviors that you do consistently. Now, why should you have them? First off, they save energy, effort, and time. As you show up with less thought, you actually become more productive because your habit is going to become automatic and it's going to have limited thought. You are going to just perform it when you are in that specific place, that specific time, that specific area. For me, let's say making my bed is a habit. When I wake up, I know that it is triggered based off being in my bed that I need to make my bed. If it is in the morning, right before I take my shower. I know what I'm doing. I turn on the shower, I brush my teeth, and then I go in the shower. And then where you are should cue that habit. So that habit should be something that once you see where you are, what you're doing, and how you are supposed to act, that it comes more naturally. And that happens because of consistency. You perform it as much as possible, understanding why and when. So of course, for those first 7, 14, 21 days, you are going to have to be consistent. You are going to have to be like, oh, this is what I do when I'm here at this time, or when I do this, now I do this. And it becomes out of mind. We think way too much about our daily, weekly, monthly habits that we need to just take a step back and let it become consistent. Let it be natural for you. Let it be something that is part of your life, your day-to-day actions, or your monthly actions, or your weekly actions. For me, I'm trying to get into doing laundry a couple times a week. So that means on a specific day, I know to get up, but am I understanding when that is yet? No, I haven't created a routine or habit around it. And that being said, your habits now become a routine when they're stacked or performed together consistently. So when you do something and then do something else right after, and then do something else right after, that's when you create the routine. But each one of those individual actions is a habit that you need to become consistent with and understand that they are going to follow each other. Now, what are some examples of habits? There's good and bad habits. First off, regular exercise, moving your body, great habit. Scrolling on your phone, good or bad habit. Meditating, great. Overspending, not great. Waking up early, great. You have to just see where your good habits are, where your bad habits are. And talking about that, when you have good habits and bad habits, your good habits, you need to nurture those. You need to celebrate those. You need to understand that those are good, but then you also need to find ways to stop that cycle for your bad habits. You need to figure out how to cut off, in this environment, this is what I do, and you need to trigger it with something else. I don't care if when you're normally in that situation, you do something else in the same place, same time, whatever it is, try to break those habits so that it does not create a routine that then becomes a system for where you're at today. Now that we know what these habits are and how, if you stack up habits together, you can get routines. Routines, of course, are a sequential. Sequential means A, B, C, or 1, 2, 3, performed consistently. Now you can have daily routines, weekly routines, monthly routines, whatever it is for you. Make sure that it provides structure in your life, that you are creating a pattern for success, and that it limits your decisions for what else you could be doing. Now, stacking like-minded habits and repetitive tasks together become automatic. So you have things that create a morning routine, an after work routine, a nighttime routine, right? But then you can also have an exercise movement routine. You can have a sleep routine. You can have a laundry routine, right? These are just some things that can become routines. But let's take a step back. Why even have them in the first place? Organization is key. When you want to be productive, when you want to show up for yourself, it is important that you are not only organized, but you're also scheduled. They frame your day and activities with purpose. And most routines happen at a specific time to keep you productive and showing up from one routine to the next. Now, stacking is those like-minded tasks, those habits that can go together or flow from one thing to the next, cause less distraction, and let you become a routine. You understand where you are not going to miss time or get distracted because you are now repeating it. You know the order, and it becomes consistent. So you know when to show up, how to show up, and when you are going to succeed. So really, routines are great. But I want to remind you that many routines feel too structured for people, and that's okay. I want you to give yourself options on the habits in your routines, and that's where systems come in, because many routines lead to a system for a greater purpose or goal. So we're talking about systems now. We're talking about this greater picture. And systems are structured processes or plans to achieve the goals or outcomes that are specific to the point. They are repeatable processes that lead to consistent results. So routines, I want you to set options. I want you to understand that you are building a plan for not only consistency, but also success where you can track your progress. Why? Because they are flexible, they are adaptable, they have long-term sustainability, and they are journey-based for your greater productivity. So what does that mean? You will have changes in life, you will have changes in season, you will have changes in energy that no set timeframes or order matter. So create these routines, but understand that in these routines, you need to have multiple options. You need to have multiple types of routines for the same time. So what I'm going to talk about next is how to do that. But remember, when you have more options and you show up more consistency, letting them be more flexible, you are now improving long-lasting change. And that consistency is going to let you bloom, is going to let you grow and let you evolve into that person you want to be. And of course, this journey, this process that you're going through is for you to focus on where you want to go and who you want to be, and that greater goal of success and mindset and overall the next level person that you want to be, that it does not matter the specific routines or the specific habits, but it's really bringing it all together for who you want to be. Who is she? Who is this dream self? Who is this higher self? And how can you show up as them? Because you need to make the progress, you need to understand why you're doing it, and you need to just follow a system that works for you. So for me, a system can be scheduling and planning, can be a budgeting system, can be a productivity system, a family system. So many things can become a system. For me, for budgeting, we have weekly check-ins, we have monthly resets. For productivity, we do scheduling, planning, habits, new routines, figuring that out. Family, we have weekly systems for our family. When do we go grocery shopping? When do we clean? When do we organize? When do we have date night? You can make any system you want for any area of your life, for any goal that you have or any dream that you set your mind to. So how are we going to look at the systems, create the routines, and set the habits? Let's jump into that. So how are you going to achieve this? Well, first off, you are going to figure out what you want to achieve. So you need to set your goal, figure out a system. What is your plan? What is your overall systems that you have for those goals? And then from there, we are going to create a menu with habits. So creating your goal is something that you should already have. To get the most out of this opportunity, I do recommend a bigger goal, such as a monthly goal, quarterly goal, 6-month goal, yearly goal. You are going to set your goal. I'm going to do this for budgeting because I feel like it's the easiest to break down, because everything else kind of depends on your life and how you handle your life. From there, you are going to set routines. What weekly, monthly, daily routines do you need to set? What do you need to do to be successful? How do you need to show up? What does it look like? How are you going to look in your daily life, weekly life, and monthly, depending on what your goals are? So that being said, for budgeting weekly, I need to look at my spending on my credit cards, what has come in, out. When we get our paycheck, did we put stuff into savings? Those are all weekly. If you get paid bi-weekly, you'll have bi-weekly goals, bi-weekly systems. Then you are going to set daily goals. For daily, I need to know, did I swipe my card today? Where is my money mindset? What do I need to do for my budget? Do I need to make sure that my auto pay? Do I need to pay the bills? Do I need to look at what mail came in? What systems do I need to set daily to have success? Now, with all of those habits that I just brought up, how can I set those up for success? So for daily, what I can do for the habits is check my credit cards on my apps weekly, I can make sure that when my paychecks come in, that I am not only putting to savings, that I am putting towards my bills, that I make sure that everything's getting paid on time. Then I also have a system that is bigger of a routine of figuring out that I have paid my credit cards on time, I've paid my bills on time, that I have overall looked at everything being auto paid on time or paid off or being paid at the right time and the right amount, and making sure I have that money. And overall, there's days that I am going to slack off. So what are the minimum habits that I need to do? Now I'm going to break this down in a different way for morning and night routine. I am not a morning and night routine girly, but for me, I want to have success in the morning. I want to have success at night. And how I'm going to do this is give you guys that example. I feel like budgeting is very structured into weekly and daily and maybe monthly, but a morning routine can be the same. And this is where menus come in. For me, I am a girly who is a morning person, but that does not mean that I always like my morning routines. Now, I will be honest, I like having a menu. I do need to create one that's cuter so I look at it and can check them off, but I'm working on this. So there are days that I do nothing. Means I get a slump morning, but I need to go to the gym. When I get home from the gym, I can shower, wash my face, get ready for work, go. Those are on lazy days. Now, on medium productive days, I need to wake up, do the dishes, go to the gym, show up, and get ready for work, do my skincare, and go to work. That's the middle. I've added a few more tasks into there. I make sure that I make my bed. I make sure that I do things around the house in the morning, and I don't just get ready and get up. Now, my most productive day is getting up, editing content, doing the dishes, going to the gym, coming home, getting ready, doing my skincare, and doing an extra. An extra is either something for myself, doing something for the house, doing laundry, doing something that is extra from what I do. And that is on high energy days. Now you can do this for anything. Let's talk about fitness. There are menus for slump days, or you just get up and get ready and go for a walk. It doesn't have to be in the morning. Medium is getting up, going to the gym, doing a stretch, going and showing up, making sure that you are lifting a little. Number 3 is getting up, going for a walk, going to the gym, and lifting. Now, another one is on days where you just need a little bit extra or you want to celebrate yourself. Of course, you can change those routines into classes, into fun time with your friends, doing things in the community, doing things that are going to spark your energy and keep your momentum going, and that motivation and that drive is there. But having these menus are going to not only create motivation, but discipline. Now, I am someone who also will choose the lazy way out. So it is important that you check yourself weekly, daily, monthly of how much you are doing each menu. I want you to at least be doing the medium to high energy more than the low. I would give yourself about 5 days of the month, especially if you're a girl, that you get low energy, and the rest should be that medium to high energy menus. Now, that being said, how does that work towards your habits? Those habits are going to be low energy, high energy, medium energy, and you are going to be like, this is what I can give, this is what I can give, this is what I can give today. Now, there are going to be days that in your different routines, you are going to choose different menus with different habits. It's important that you stay consistent, that you still show up, and that you do the work. It does not matter if you chose a low energy day, medium, or high. You are still showing up for the overall system, for that bigger goal and that bigger dream. Does that make sense? Do I need to do a whole habit and menu routine video? I would love to do that, setting up my own. I kind of did these on the spot, kind of gave examples, but I really want you to know what your menus can look like, how these routines can alter, shift. You do not need to stick to one routine, one system, one habit. You can make it your own. So as always, I'm always here to help you. I am just inspiring you through my journey, and I am sharing how I feel day to day while I am believing in myself, building the life of my dreams, balancing my day-to-day life with intention to bloom daily, consistently, until I become that person. And I want this to not only let you know that you can do anything that you put your mind to, but you have to take it one step at a time. Make it your own journey and make the process you and what you want and how you are going to achieve, because we are all unique. We are all individual. I'm just here to be that support system, let you know what's possible, and share my journey one day at a time. Because 2 years ago, I made the choice that I wanted a different life. 2 years ago, I decided that I was going to help people change their life. And 2 years ago, I decided that I was going to stop playing small and show up for my best self to tell others that they can do it too. So join me on this journey, subscribe, follow me on Instagram. My DMs are always open, and let me know what are some habits you have, some routines you set, and systems that you want to create for your bigger goals today. And I will see you guys soon. Bye, guys.